Hi everyone, thank you for being here. Today we are talking about 3 steps to become version 2.0. This entire journey we've talked about becoming this new version, trying out different things, implementing new things, but now that we have implemented certain things, we have made certain changes, it's time to evaluate if these things have worked. Have we done the thing that we wanted to do? Are we on track with our goals? Are we seeing the results that we want? Are we taking inventory of how far we've gotten? We've launched a version 1, and now it's time for us to launch version 2 by taking in this data and evaluating on all of our actions if this is what we are actually achieving. And there are 3 things that we need to look at: our resources, our routines, and then finally the person responsible for all of it. So the resources that you've used on this journey so far need to be evaluated for how well they have served you, what you've learned from them, what they aren't doing for you, and what you need to fill in the gap of where you are now and the end goal. This entire journey is meant to transform your view of the world and yourself and the habits and the actions that come through everything that you do. So if you are not evaluating along the way, you have no basis of how things have changed and how things haven't. What things are you doing or using that are helpful to you that you don't need to change? What have you implemented in this time that has helped you? And if you have a list that you've already been keeping track of, great. And if not, write that list today. What resources have you been using? Are there certain cookbooks that you've bought? Are there certain apps that are helping you? Are you journaling at a certain time? Are you wearing different clothes because you're working out more? What are you doing that's helped you? Has planning your outfits the night before, planning your meals the night before so you can just grab it and run out the door because you still don't want to get up a whole lot earlier, but you're more willing at night to put in that prep work? That's great information for you to know. How have you implemented resources into your life, and how have you become that resource for yourself? What routines have you implemented, which we will talk about? But more importantly, the resources. Is there a type of notebook that's helping you? Is there a type of book that has helped you along the way? Is there videos? Is there certain people that have done this goal, have achieved this goal that you are looking to use, that you have used? How are they helping you? How can you continue to implement them and to use them? So that's really what the whole idea of version 2.0 is what have I done so far? Have I done the things that I wanted? And one of the things that I implemented January of 2024 was writing a journal a month. And I have all of them somewhere, but each month I pick a word and then I will write what I have done over the month that relates to this word or that is just happening in general. And every month seems to reflect this word pretty greatly. And I have no idea from the start of the month to the end of the month how this word's gonna affect me, how I'm gonna see it come up in my daily life, how things are gonna change. But it is a decision that I made and a resource for me. It's a place where I write various information that I learn throughout my days. It's a place where I reflect. It's a place where I can be grateful. It's where I can think about what's gonna happen or reflect on what has been and process that. So it is a tool that I've created for myself to have a place to go to, and for that month, everything is in there. And it is something that I continued into 2025. It's my 17th month, I guess, doing this now. And it's been great. And now the routine has been built, and that is just something that I do. The first of the month, I start it, I draw on the cover, write the word on the cover, and then throughout the month I fill it out, and on the last day I write a letter to myself reflecting on what that month has been. Now, that did not come out of just anywhere. It was version like 7 of journaling for me. I have been journaling since I was like 12 or 13, writing randomly, writing when I needed to, writing when it was important, writing to process, just writing. And this is one of the ways that I decided to continue to write, but to change my own views and to document how life has changed. And honestly, from January 2024 to now it is June of 2025, my life has changed pretty significantly, and now I have a record of that change in these notebooks. I don't necessarily go through these notebooks because I'm always moving on to the next one. The last of the month, I'm writing that last letter, and then the first of the month, I'm on to the next one. And it is important for me to see this as a way of keeping promises to myself, of realizing that I am growing throughout the month, and that there's certain phrases and there's certain characters in my life that I go back to, and there's different people that I am importing whose advice and knowledge I turn towards and find comfort in and find motivation within. And it's a record of all of this learning. So it is important for me to evaluate that this is a tool that I use and is a resource that is a compilation of all these resources that I have in my life. But it has taken time to get to that point. Is this something that I'm going to continue to do? I don't know, and I will reflect more on it towards the end of this year, as I will have done it for 24 months in a row. So stay tuned for that. But it is a tool that I use in my daily life. There's other tools that I use. I use OneNote to write down my ideas. I use a video editor software that helps me create these videos. So there's these different tools that I'm using, and there's definitely more that I can learn about these tools to make things better, to make it easier for myself, to make better decisions, to make better creations. But unless I evaluate what these tools are doing for me and what they're not, I can't move forward and expect to be better if I don't know what resources I'm using. The software has way more capabilities in it than I have personally figured out, but I also bought into and bought a video course that I haven't fully dived into. So it's a resource that exists that isn't going to help me until I use it, and that is what all of these resources are. The book can't help you, the recipe won't create the meal for you. You can buy the running shoes, but they won't be the ones that run and do the workout for you. You have to be the one that utilizes these tools. So how are you utilizing these tools? What tools do you have that you're not using? Are there recipe books? Are there things that you've bought before that you could pull back in now that you are dedicating yourself to moving forward? There's probably tools that you have all around you, and if you aren't using them, if you did buy a recipe book 10 years ago that you swore you were going to use but never did, maybe it's time to replace it. Maybe it's time to get rid of it. Create space. If you're not using a resource, or if you're not fully utilizing it, figure out why. Is it too difficult to look at a physical book and you'd rather have a PDF version so you can just see it on your phone while you're in the kitchen and you don't have to lug this book around? That is a good piece of information for you to have. So how are certain resources helping you and certain ones aren't? And there's going to be drawbacks and positives to every single tool. The positives should just outweigh the hard stuff about that tool. Like, it's great that I have this notebook, but it is a notebook that I have to carry with me. And up until now, 17 times I have not been in the same location from month to month, like 15 times. So I have to be aware of it, and I have to make sure I have the notebook with me. And one time I wasn't going to, so I bought one from Amazon. But I was dedicated to it, and it proved to myself that I could be dedicated, and it's a promise I made to myself, and it's one that I'm continuing to keep, and that is just proof for me. So everything you can do for yourself, every return on investment on you is going to be much higher because you're getting smarter, you're creating more skills, you know what you like, you know what you don't like. You can step back and be like, actually this isn't working for me. I've tried something like that, it didn't work before. It's probably not going to be what I'm going to tend towards. These are all lessons that exist, but you have to be the one to evaluate the resources that you have to understand that. And if you aren't, it's going to be a lot more difficult to move forward and be judicial about the things that you keep in your life and bring in. If you have 4 resources, if you have a book, a podcast, if you have certain creators that you tend towards, and then you have a journaling practice, you're probably not going to implement having 3 apps that you keep track of and 4 new YouTubers that you're following. It's probably not going to happen that way. So evaluate, and if certain ones aren't working for you anymore, remove them. Try to do this maybe every month, every week, every few months, whatever timeline you need to feel like you're still in the swing of things and on top of things. If you're letting your goals slide, if the routine you've created is not working for you, it's time to reevaluate. And that is what we're going to talk about for step number 2, routines. We all fall into routines all the time. We get up in the morning at the same time, we're annoyed about having to get up, we're running out the door because we're late. These are all routines. And there's some benign routines like brushing your teeth every day and taking a shower, and you're gonna do it every day. It's not necessarily hurting you, it's not taking up too much time, but it is something that you spend time doing because you know what would happen if you don't. If you don't brush your teeth every day, your teeth will not be doing very well. You're not going to have good breath. You're going to start to see the detrimental effects of not brushing your teeth and not showering. What are the detrimental effects of you not taking time to reflect on your day, to not eat healthy food, to not work out, to not go outside and go for a walk, to not interact with people that are good for you, to not watch these motivational people in your life? What detriment is it to you? And if you can very quickly figure out how not brushing your teeth or taking a shower is bad for you, then you can also figure out how not eating healthy is going to be bad for you too. Because you don't want to let these things just fester. We don't want these things to just exist and for us to not question them. Question why it is that you have to brush your teeth twice a day in the exact time. Or maybe we can just leave the brushing the teeth alone. But what habits are you doing every day? Why are you eating out at lunch every single day, even though you know you don't feel better after, that you want to get into cooking, but you're choosing to sit on the couch? Why is this a routine that you're willing to spend your time on? You can be consistent. You have been consistent over the years. You've been consistently not consistent with achieving the goals that you want to do. So if you can put all this energy into not going after your dreams, you might as well put it into going after them. If you want to start eating better, being a better version of you, you have to start somewhere. And if you've been on this journey for this long, you already have been. So what habits are working for you and which ones aren't? You've created new routines. You get up every morning at 5 a.m. and you go to the gym. Is that working for you? Is it making you feel better throughout the day? Do you have more energy or less energy? Are you fading out? Are you burning out? Where are you standing with these new habits that you've implemented? Maybe reading for half an hour every morning doesn't work for you anymore. Maybe you can only do 15 minutes, and that's okay. As long as you're doing the things that are helping you, it's important. You don't have to have a 5-hour morning routine. If you have a 15-minute one, it's pretty good too. But you have to decide and evaluate that what you've been doing so far has worked or hasn't worked. And there's probably plenty of routines that have worked or are working, like making your bed every morning or going for a walk each morning. Maybe it was really hard the first 10 times, but now it's the 11th, 12th, 13th, and it's getting a lot easier. And you want to keep that in your day-to-day. Whether it's a 5-minute walk or an hour walk, whatever it is, you get outside and that is your thing. So evaluate what part of the routine can you keep and can you change. Maybe you want to eat healthier, but you can't cook every night, so you cook enough for a few days. And that's a shift that you can make, and you will continue to keep on track for your goal. But now it's easier for you to implement writing more because you're not spending 2 hours cooking every night. You can spend half an hour writing about your day, and you can feel better spiritually as you're feeling better physically because you're eating better. Your mind feels better because you're taking the time to process what happened that day or this past month or the past few years, because you're giving yourself that space. So you don't have to throw out every routine you've created, but evaluate how it has changed you. What has changed? What have you given up because of it? What have you replaced with this routine? And what within this routine you can shift and make more flexible. Maybe the rigidness is you're gonna walk every morning, but the flexibility is how much or what time, because you work from home, and if you start 15 minutes later, it's okay. Maybe that's what the rigidity is. Where is the line that you're not gonna cross? And you're not gonna know this until you evaluate it. So, how can you move forward with this acknowledgement that your routines have made your life so far? And you have proven to yourself that you can make new ones, that you can evaluate new ones, you can create new habits. And if you are stopping yourself from moving forward, why is it? Ask yourself, well, why do I not want to wake up early and go for this walk that I know is good for me? Is it because I'm spending too much time at night talking to my friends who is breaking up with this guy for the 10th time and I'm just so tired in the morning? Well, maybe it's time to evaluate if this friend is worth all of this time that you're giving them. What are you getting in return? And if what you're getting in return is not enough sleep and slacking on your goals, it's time to reduce the amount of time and energy that these other people are getting. And the people who want to be there for you, the ones who are championing you and your decisions and your choices and your journey, are not going to be upset when you say, hey, I can't go drinking every weekend because I am working on being the best version of myself, trying to get healthier, lose some weight, whatever it is, trying to be healthier. And if they're pushing back and they're saying, that's weird, what are you doing? If they're cutting you down, it's good to know. It's good to put up these boundaries and know which people don't like them. Which people are saying, what do you mean you can't talk for 3 hours after broken up with the same guy for the 15th time? If they don't want to be around you anymore because you're not giving this free access to your time and energy, then they weren't appreciating it when they had it. If your friend really cares about you, they're going to cherish any time that they talk to you, and they're fully going to understand that you have priorities and that they're in your life because they want you to be the best you. If the people in your life don't want you to be the best you, then how are they there for you? They should be the ones telling you, of course, go do what you need to, and we will talk, and it'll be even more important and more valuable because that time will be concentrated on our connection. And not every friend is going to feel this way, not every family member is going to feel this way, but you have to decide whose feelings you care about more. Is it yours and the person you want to be and these habits and these goals that you're trying to achieve so that you can be a better friend, a better person in your life and other people's lives? Or is it the person who is just going to complain and not change anything about their life? Do they deserve that time more, or do you deserve it more? You can decide. You can decide to be at the beck and call of every friend and be the person who consoles them and gives them all this advice, and then they change nothing. Wouldn't that time be better spent with yourself, giving yourself that advice, giving yourself that motivation, that pep talk, and getting yourself out the door, going for that run, going to pick out the groceries? That is where your time should be. And your routines will tell you what you've prioritized and where you've spent your energy and why and what you're going to do next. So decide what is going to happen. Now, the overlying theme of this entire version 2.0 is that you are responsible for everything. That has been our underlying theme this entire time. This is the whole point of life. You are responsible for the life that you create. If it's an amazing one that is filled with joy and excitement and travel and all the fun and the great food and the exciting location, it is because you have put in the work. There is no one to blame on your amazing life except for you, because you've taken responsibility. You realize that annoying person at work and your friend that's never gonna change and that routine of sitting on the couch just weren't for you. You decided one day, you know what? I'm gonna live my best life. I'm gonna make the choices for me. I'm taking responsibility because I'm the only one who has to deal with these decisions. Everyone who's telling you you have to do this or you have to do that actually doesn't have to deal with the consequences of you having to do these things. All of these people telling you what you should or shouldn't do could, one, be a reflection of you projecting onto them. Maybe no one's telling you you need to get married by 30 and have children by 32. Maybe you're the one that's just internalizing some fear that you've created. Or two, maybe there are legitimate people who are telling you this, who are telling you that you have to get married and you have to have kids and you have to this and you have to that. Well, you're the only one that's gonna have to deal with the consequences of waking up all through the night, paying for the child. You're the one who has to deal with the aftermath of eating a bunch of queso and guacamole and drinking all night. You're the one that has to deal with that aftermath. They can try to influence you and try to force you to do it, but it's up to you to decide if you're gonna do it, because you have to deal with the consequences 24/7. You might have to listen to your mom rant about you being single for 10 minutes, maybe an hour, but you have to deal with yourself for 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days. That is a lot more hours. It is 8,760 hours more that you have to deal with yourself. That 1 hour doesn't even pale in comparison to how many hours you're gonna spend with these consequences. So the responsibility over your life is yours, and no one else gets to influence that power unless you allow them to. Your mom, your parents, all of them are doing the best that they can, and they're sharing what they think is best for you. Co-workers, friends, loved ones may be doing the same, or maybe not. And whether it's with good intentions or bad, they're telling you something that you get to decide if it works for you or not. If you want to be married and have children, and that is what you're gonna do, that is what you're gonna spend your time doing, that is what you're gonna dedicate to, great. But you are the one responsible for that child. You are the one responsible for that dream, for that goal. It was given to you. If there's a goal, if there's a hope, it's yours. You have to be the one to bring it to life, to take care of it, to nurture it, to make it happen. You are the one. No one else is responsible, and no one else is going to feel the brunt of that decision like you will. When you go for an engineering job, when you go for the chef job, when you go for any job, for any choice, for any goal, it is you that has to face the music. When I went to engineering school and when I became an engineer, I'm still an engineer, but throughout that process, I had parents ask me all the time, like, how do I get my kid to do this? Or how do I get my kid to be interested in math and science? And I'm like, you can't, because they're the ones that are gonna have to do the work. I did not get an engineering degree because my mom really wanted me to. She did, but that was not why I did it, because her wants and hopes and dreams for me were not going to be the reason why I stayed up all night studying for that organic chemistry test. They were not gonna be the reason why I went to this school or why I applied for this job. Her hopes, my dad's hopes, my teacher's hopes, none of their hopes and dreams were going to fuel me in my behavior and my decisions, and they were not going to be the ones that were going to stay up all night to study for that exam. And just like when you pick a major in school, you're not picking it once, you're picking it every class, every day, every decision. Your life is the same thing. If you don't know what to major in, you're majoring in life now. Your life is the thing that you are choosing and deciding every single day. It is not a choice you're going to make once. It is not a decision you're going to make once. You are making it over and over again. Every time you decide to get up when the alarm goes off, every time you decide to put your running shoes on, every time you decide to eat a healthy meal, you are deciding the life that you want. You are constantly choosing it over and over and over again. Which means that if you sometimes don't choose it, you can choose again. As long as you are alive, you can make more decisions and you can take more responsibility for your life. There is opportunity everywhere. There is an ability within you that exceeds anything you've ever understood about yourself if you give yourself the time and the space and the willingness to achieve it. You are responsible for the life that you create. Every single decision is yours and you hold that power. Stop handing it to your parents, stop handing it to your coworkers, stop handing it to every single person other than you. Take all that power back, all those responsibilities, and leave the advice and the hopes and the dreams of other people at the door. Take your power back, say thank you, and move on. What they want, what they think you can do, what they think you can't do is not your problem. So move on, decide. And I hope you got something out of today's video. We're gonna continue this journey right to the very end, and I will see you very soon. Have an amazing day.